This video was sponsored by HelloFresh, you goobies. Hey honey, do you know where my other wig is?
I don't know. Why don't you just come to bed?
I want that.
The reason I wanted this blanket is, well, hold on.
That's better.
Well, it reminded me to go ahead and try something that I saw on Instagram by an artist named Trash WEWD. What he does is he makes these carvings which look exactly like beautiful flowing and undulating material, frozen in time. It's gorgeous. Go check him out on Instagram. I will leave a link to his account down in the description. Before we start working on that project, we need to make a template or a reference, something we can look at while we are carving. And what I decided to use was, first I cut up some pieces of styrofoam insulation board. Then I took some flex glue and smeared that all over the surface. That way I came back with felt and I positioned it in a way that, well, was sort of flowing, curling, ruffled, sort of twisting on one side. Then I took some Flex Seal spray and sprayed it all over the surface. That way it holds the felt in place, kind of coats it in sort of like a rubber material. So you can bump into it and all that stuff and it won't be messed up. So now that we have our template made, I've been trying to decide what material I should use in order to make this piece. Well, the logical conclusion I came to was,
Make it out of wood.
so I'm going to do that. But I'd also like to not spend any money in the process. So I noticed there's some houses going up, some new construction in my neighborhood, and I noticed a whole buttload of these cut off ends and chunks, pieces of wood they're just gonna throw away and it's gonna end up in a landfill. So why not take some garbage, do a little bit of recycling, and turn it into some really badass art? Let's do that. All right, guys, there's the wood. Let's see if we can slip in there and get some without being noticed. Okay, now that we have our free garbage wood, we gotta do a few things to it in order to get it ready into turning it into art. First thing we gotta do is get out all those nails. There's a buttload of them. Then I'm gonna plane each side so that they're nice and flat. They'll glue up easier that way. Then I'm gonna cut each board into 3.5 inch sections. Then we need to glibbledy glue it all together into one giant bloke. And the way I'm gonna do that is, me and my lovely assistant Nicole will lay down some plastic, then start slathering glue all over each piece, and we're laying them down in rows which are slightly offset, almost like a brick wall would be. So that's gonna make it look cool, but also it's going to be a little bit stronger than, say, if they were all aligned. Then we're gonna throw on some clampy doos and let that dry overnight. Next morning, bust those on out of there. The next step, which totally is optional, is I contacted my local cabinet shop. These guys were super awesome. They let me come by and use their giant wide belt sander. It works a lot like a planer, but it's way more accurate and it makes it super smooth. And now look at it, it's juicy and delicious. Are you like me? Do you eat food every single day? Well, you're in luck then, because today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh, you may ask? Well, to start off, it's America's #1 meal kit. They send you mouth-watering seasonal recipes with pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. And it's really dadgum nice because HelloFresh cuts out the meal planning and shopping. So all you have to do is enjoy the cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes. If you want to try them out and get 10 free meals with free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com and be sure to use code BobbyDuke10. One issue Nicole and I have is trying to find new recipes to make instead of getting stuck cooking the same things over and over. With HelloFresh, you were introduced introduced to simple to follow but amazing to eat new recipes, like pork and veggie bibimbap, crispy Parmesan chicken, and so far my favorite, the melty Monterey Jack burgers. They also have vegetarian and low-calorie options available for you weirdos. Just kidding. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you know you're going to get something delicious. And it's relatively guilt-free, since the packaging they use is almost entirely made from recyclable and or already recycled materials. So do yourself a favor and go to HelloFresh.com and be sure to use code BobbyDuke10 to get 10 free meals, including free shipping. Now let's get back to the video.
And now the next step is going to be transferring the design onto our block of wood.
The way I did that was, I took a picture of the template, printed it off Gigantotron, taped all the pages together to make one giant picture, placed that on top of the block, and then used some graphite transfer paper to then trace out where all the high points of the carving will go. And then in this next part I say, and now let's draw it on with a Sharpie. And then I do, just so it's a little bit darker and I can see it better. Now that we have all of that done, let's go ahead and start carving this bad boy. But before I do that, I want to tell you, I was sent some really cool attachments for my angle grinder by a company called King Arthur Tools. They also sent me this really handy universal nut kit. Go check them out. I'll leave a link to them and the tools in the description. And now let's see how those tools work. Alright, now that we have it to this point, we need to take it on over to the shed and do some more carving on it with the rotary carver. Okay, now that we're out in the shed, we gotta go to the shed. Oh. Okay, now we're done with all of that shenanigans. Let's actually get to carving this again. What we're going to use is my trusty rotary carver, and this is another one of them structured tooth tungsten carbide bears, kind of like the King Arthur tool I used. It's just in a different shape and on a different tool. We're also gonna use this cute little fella right here. And we're just gonna get into those crooks and nannies, the areas we couldn't get into before, and just keep on shaping it on up and stuff, so, you know.
Sanding.
Hey guys, it's thank you once again for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate each and every one of you. This project was ridiculously fun to make. All you need are a few tools, a pile of free WEWD, and the desire to make something beautiful. And you can make this too. Just a couple of things really quick. First, a huge shout out and thank you to my amazing wife, Nicole. I could not do this without her. Also, she's recently started throwing pots, and she is amazing at it. Go check out her Instagram, it's at Duchess Nicole Duke, and go say hi. Also, while you're there, go ahead and give me a follow on Instaham as well. Also, please follow me on Twitter. The reason I want you guys to follow me on Twitter is because it's a great way for me to communicate with you like instantaneously. You know, like if I'm going to be at an event or do a meetup, or say I post a video and YouTube hasn't sent out the recommendation for it. Thank you guys once again. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I love you.